세러데이 쇼다운 DRX 대 농심 레드포스.
Duro will be able to play the Alistair. That is going to give him a fair bit of power, but I do think that what DN Freaks are representing right now is like cream of the crop. For this, like, on this patch right now, this is like almost the best champions outside of maybe top lane. All right, DN Freaks, it's a good looking draft. We'll see whether they can make it work against the Gen.G that we have to remember, right? Nameplates are on. These players are really good. I remember Ruler playing Xayah in 2017. That was a good year for him. So let's see how it works as we jump into the Rift for game one.
That's how Boris ropes you in. He gives you the free gold at the start of the game.
Yeah, and keeps giving you a little bit over and over again.
He's like, come back, come over here, you know? I'll give you a good deal. They're chilling. It's not that, you know?
Well, Canyon is moving in, but we got to fight on the top side of the map as well. Dudu dashing around like a madman. As Canyon doesn't find the rock, Chovy is looking to get up here as well, as there's the public execution. And Dudu just grabs first blood. That's a solo kill. Definitely standing his ground. As we're going to check this out one more time. Level 6 is hit by both of these.
Yeah, and Dudu doing a lot of upfront damage. Keen commits the ult quite late.
Yeah, it just does not do anything at all.
The ult re-engage. Yeah, we see Gen.G all looking to contest this. There's a 3v3 with the top lane starting to move.
Yeah, Canyon goes in though. Seismic shove is good there from Bulldog as he's just getting thrown around. The Impale is decent. As Pyosik there with the Crescent Guard doesn't have a whole lot of defense, but he audaciously charges away. Keen trying to be immune and does get that sniff to take down the Xin Zhao. Another phenomenal shove though, and the public execution, but the pulverize from Duro, he's just saving the fight for Gen.G! And Bulldog almost slammed into the wall. It was almost even worse. As the DN Freaks can't make it happen, Berserker trying to fight back against Ruler, and Ruler barely even noticing from what we can see here.
That should have been a one fight, and I think just poor target selection really cost him there.
Yeah, feels a little bit like the nameplate situation becoming a bit of a problem here, but Dudu was their 1 point of power, and now Canyon's going to turn up, and Keen just going to put him in his circle and cut him down. You know that DK and B&K, if you wait for a mistake, they'll make one. Gen.G don't always make one. Canyon looking towards the top side of the map as public execution going to be used just to try and get out of the way. And Dudu will be able to utilize that. Didn't have flash, of course, but the ult going to be enough. He just couldn't turn. Oh, it was very good. The boost was absurd in that game. Anyway, we are focusing on something else. There is a quickness coming on in. Keen is just dead. Great seismic shove there from Bulldog. No notes.
No TP for Bulldog, and even if you did, I'm not sure you want to fight this. I think just letting Dudu have some pressure on the bot side. I don't think he can take this turret right now, but he was getting some good damage onto it.
I still think the DNF are making the right choices, right?
Extra value.
One of these things ain't like the other. As Dudu just taking the poke damage here from Chovy. Chovy doesn't do a lot of moving away from enemy champions, does he?
It feels like he's just stat checking, you know?
Yeah.
And it's working.
Sorry,
it's not my fault he didn't watch Arcane.
Yeah. That's all right. Headbutt Pulp onto Dudu here. Chovy distracted by an inner turret. Duro just keeping him interested as they do just take this one down. Pyosik will be able to get the second dragon, and it's a Cloud Soul, baby.
It is your birthday.
It is. I love to see it. This, unfortunately, though, is not an even trade. The Rift Arrow going to go down, and Gen.G is still pushing here towards his bottom side as well. As all right, public execution onto Chovy, but Duro's going to turn up, and he's just dead.
Yeah.
Duro was quite recently there. He is still an object, but it still felt rude. As Pyosik tried to take the Raptors away from Canyon. Canyon going to get ulted away. And the smite is going to come on through, but Canyon can drive through that one. There's the flash at the same time. It's a scary Skarner, and he just picks up the Xin Zhao, who cannot do anything. He used everything to try and escape. And Gen.G all the while just sticking onto this dragon. Okay, headbutt does pull Pyosik around, but that is still going to be secure by Canyon. Dudu in that backline. Keen just fighting everyone he can find. And Chovy now just going to use the seismic shove, it feels like, to close the distance. Bulldog going to be flashing away, though. Keen trying to dash away, and Berserker goes too far forward, baited by the low health bars. And DNF not going to be able to fight anymore. Public execution going to be a little bit of a public flub there from Dudu. And Chovy just going to finish off this turret. Gen.G continuing to push forward. There's Ruler now just saying, enough with this silliness. It's time to die.
Canyon looking for another Heartsteel stack. And I guess a kill too.
It's all about the Heartsteel stacks. You can tell that Orcs is a ARAM gamer.
Yeah.
Which is what he's going to have to go back to playing now that Arena is gone.
Oh, don't remind... How?
Sorry. As Dudu is possibly dead, but he does have good old shielding and dashing and all that stuff.
And you can see after that, Canyon kind of lost a little bit of interest, and then you see Ruler's like, no, give me the kill, please. And he's like,
Well, Duro is going, never mind. In comes Canyon now. Let's see whether they can actually kill him as Duro is taking them for a merry ride. Finally flashes. Headbutt comes in. Pulverize not going to connect, though, because Dudu is just able to dash all the time forever. And he's still going, he's still going. He's got the movement speed from the Cloud Rift. And he's out. On vision as well. Yep, that's Ruler who's just kind of done with it as, okay, Ruler might be done with being on the Rift right now, but he does use the Feather Stomp, creates the distance, and holds the recall. Oh man, Life is so close to dead as well, as there's the crash. Bulldog gonna go down, and that's a double.
You know what's the saddest thing about Skarner?
What's that?
Is when you ult
Oh
them,
god, Life is trying to work out what he needs to do there, and he just came up with nothing. As they have a 12,000 gold lead, the Nexus turrets are going to go down. We felt like, as far as the draft was concerned, maybe there was a chance, but as it turned out, the first place team is performing a little bit better here in the LCK than the 10th place team. Game 1 going over to Gen.G. As Trophy did the most damage in the game, and Ruler also doing a fair bit as well, especially that last team fight was pretty effectual. And we have to remember back to the fact that Dudu got a solo kill to start this one off. Definitely good news for the top side of the DN Freaks, but that was where it kind of stopped.
Strong front line for the DN Freaks, a lot of bulkiness, a lot of tankiness. But yeah, I think Gen.G, they have the lane matchup in the top lane they're pretty happy about. Very hard to pin down some of these carries. But to be honest, I don't think it's a draft that I feel really bad about for DN Freaks. I think it's very playable. But again, if I felt more favorable at the Game 1 draft, and that didn't go well.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they made it to the hospital. As we are going to get onto the Rift here for game number 2. We'll see whether the DN Freaks can do it.
They're like, congratulations, that's a Guinness World Record for eating a plane. And he's like, a Guinness what now?
So just Keen farming more grasp stacks. Dudu wanting to go home. Get me the heck out of this lane, please. As Canyon gonna wait for the back to come through. Dudu canceled it.
What?
Oh no. Oh dear. Well, Dudu is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Canyon going to pick up the turret aggro. A couple more might be taken here as Canyon's gonna have to get out of there. He's actually spotted here as the Rel also pops out of the fog of war. Now going to go for the flash engage. Pioshik, no chance, although is able to get the Warrior Trickster off, gets himself out of there. Life might be in trouble as Ruler is going to dash forward, but it is just going to be Gen.G saying thanks for the leash. And there is a Hex Flash because Duro can. Shattering Strike's pretty good there as well as the dash forward. Crash down is good as Trisha Barrage comes in. Arcane Shift actually picks up the kill. That is novel. And Life is also now dead. Yep, that's the kill going on over. So a double kill in 2v2, not too bad there for Ruler and Duro as Keen getting pushed away. He might be dead, does manage to surge himself back up to some health and then just pounces his way out. Pioshik now is going to die as Canyon throws the ulti in and Dudu not going to have the damage to stop him. And he's just pretty sticky on this doggo. Still the turret not going to be enough for, sorry, not going to be something that Canyon can fight against.
Ral, you really should not be getting 2v2 by like that. That was just an outplay from Ruler and Duro.
Oh, Keen was just trying to avoid getting crashed into. Look at this, hops out of Cougar form, gets the tiny little primal surge that does not really do too much. Keen, get the pedal. We can see it on the minimap. He gets the pedal, gorgeous.
Nice.
Look at that.
And that is that only pedal.
Oh, Duro could be in a little bit of trouble here. Does get divided emperorally. Not sure about that one. Just getting into position to try and make something happen perhaps as Dudu, he just wants to get to his turret, guys. And you know what? He'll get there. Charm comes on through. Trophy picks up turret aggro. And Duru's coming on in. If this doesn't work, then you just invite the metal horse. And Dudu goes down.
Oh, wait.
Oh, Duro is going to get taken out. It's a 1-for-1. And Dudu is a happy zombie. Yeah, no, that's my bad. I don't want to be greedy. All right, crash down onto Life as the door is there, but he can't put it all around him, unfortunately. And so he's just dead. Ruler going to be able to pick that one up, taking down his former teammate. So you take care of the play-by-play whatever's happening. We do know that.
Oh, Reptile gonna go in, big slam. We'll see if they can get another charge.
Oh, beautiful stuff.
Oh, Charm comes through. It is shield up Rom, so a bit of a struggle, but more damage coming in. Will jump away and survive that. Ult comes in from Kyoshik. Magi gets some damage down, but a disengage from Gen.G keeps him safe.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to stop you there. Yeah.
Well, they don't want to say hacker, so they say adjacent
Oh, something.
with.
Yeah, okay. Oh, we've got a team fight. That's a nice Magnet Storm here from Duro. Shattering Strike, a lot of value. No one dead just yet, but in and out goes Gen.G. As True Shot Barrage doesn't find the mark. Canyon is just going to cut them down, though, and my God, the blender that is Gen.G is pretty frightening.
Yeah, Dudu, he's just having his own little time against Nidalee. Not too fun, but more fun than the rest of DNF are having. Yeah, they did that with Zombie Films. I think the market got a little... Oh!
Okay, there's a crash. All right, King gonna get knocked up. Remember, he can just pounce away at any time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he does. Veronica Mars, fantastic show, but definitely is a little bit older, and it probably would be an E detective that they'd need now as Chovy over the wall. A bit of a jump scare there for Life, who is just dead, ladies and gentlemen.
It would be pretty good if the fights went over in 3 seconds.
Yeah. All right, well, there's a flanking teleport from a Nidalee. I don't know necessarily what that means. But with the amount of money Gen.G has, probably not great things for DNF. As Life, okay, avoiding a fair bit, but will get charmed up. There's Orbit Deception there as well as Canyon and Keen. Oh, the cats and dogs are so incredibly frightening. There's the first kill, and there's a whole bunch more as Ruler is just going ballistic. The doggo as well. Dudu is trying to run away. He liked it more when it was the 1v1 against the Nidalee in a side lane. As he's like, yeah, is this what's been happening around the rest of the map? Oh dear.
This is just pristine top lane experience. You get counterpicked by a ranged top laner that you can only describe as cringe. After playing your lane out as best you can, trying to pick up some farm, you realize the rest of your team is a combined 0-13. And the game is just over.
It definitely is just over. I think, is it Kion that came up with Firewall Tickler as a hacker name?
Lord of the Pings is
Lord of the Ping. Digital Locksmith feels a bit real. Actually really like that. Kion, that's some good stuff.
We should fix this.
Charm gonna come on through. Emperor's Divide doesn't do enough because the Nexus explodes. And Gen.G will pick up the 2-0 to round out the day. Smiles on the faces of Gen.G as Ruler does so much damage in this game. And Keen's Nidalee passing the test here as well, utilizing his teammate's skin. It's very, very cute.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's one of these things where I don't think people particularly expected the DNF to beat Gen.G. I know that's crazy to say, but maybe this matchup was a little bit weighted towards one side more than the other. But you know, we've seen HLE have some failings recently. This team is just looking at
there we go.
You know what?
0-1 and 26. That is a pretty support scoreline.
Thank you very much and happy birthday, Atlas. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Duro on the side of Gen.G. Congratulations! Gen.G continues to march through their undefeated round. You've won all 13 matches in a row. How do you feel? You know, this is the first undefeated run that I am partaking in Gen.G, and it makes me so happy. Yeah, so because everyone did so well, the POM votes are just all over the place. But in the end, you were selected as the POM. So did you expect this result? As of today, you know, I wasn't really expecting to get a POM today. So who did you predict to be the POM today then? I honestly thought maybe Canyon or Ruler, to be honest. What about Keen and Chovy? I feel like they didn't exactly carry their role out, you know, as one player of the team, so that's why. And so with today's victory, you have secured the top 3 LCK placement NA spot in Road to MSI round 4. So what do you think? You know, we already secured a spot in MSI round 4, and honestly, I feel almost numb. It's very surreal. And let's take a look at game 1. And even though the early game was tough in the top lane, Gwen's fluid movement led to her scaling very well to take control of the overall game. So what kind of calls did you make with Keen? You know, rather than making calls with Keen, I think we just tried to to find the best possible action that we can take in the given situation. So yeah, even in the Void Grub team fight, the Alistar did such a great job engaging. So how did you find this angle? You know, Canyon actually was able to engage first, and I was just looking for the right angle and the right timing, and I just found the angle and just the right opportunity to go in, so I just tried to capitalize off of that. And looking at the game 2 draft, the enemy had a pretty tanky comp while Gen.G had only Rel as their sole tank. So what was the team fighting plan? You know, actually, at the very end of the draft, we thought, wait, this comp is kind of weird, but since everyone was so good and we know that we do play out pretty well, we ended up just playing our own game. And as Gen.G continues their undefeated run, what do you think is the key point for a dominant team's macro? I think it's just all of the individual players' influence on the game. And in LoLs, Chovy really wanted to see Duro's triple heart. So since he mentioned that he would love to see that, could you face the camera and give your fans the best triple heart? So on 3, are you ready for it? Yes, I'll do it. We'll take the mic from you. 1, 2, 3. First heart. Second heart. Wow, nice triple heart. Now, I'm sure Chovy would love this. What do you think he's gonna say? I'm sure he will say, thanks for the heart. It was entertaining. And your next opponent is T1 in a great momentum. So what is your resolution? There's also a very strong team. And even though we are undefeated, we have to make sure that we don't get ahead of ourselves and prepare very well in order to keep our streak going. And that's the end of the interview with Duro, and back to the space. Thank you.